Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we are going to be testing out and reviewing the new ColourPop No Filter Concealers. Now these concealers retail for $6 US. You get 0.14 ounces within each of these and they can be found in 15 different shades. I grabbed the shade medium and golden to try out today. I just couldn't really decide which one would suit my under eye area the best, and so I didn't want to risk getting one that was too light and having my under eye area look really ashy, or one that was too deep and having my under eye area look really not like my skin. So I just grabbed both of them. After swatching them on my wrist though, I must say that they do oxidize a little bit, and so medium actually ended up being still a little bit light, but golden ended up being a little bit too deep for the under eye area. And so what I'm going to do for today is I think I'm going to mix them in order to try to get a perfect shade. Straight from the website, the details of the concealer state that it is a lightweight, creamy, full coverage concealer that is formulated with soft blurring pigments in order to create the ultimate matte flawless complexion. Other than that, there's not a whole lot else stated on the website as far as like how to use it, whether or not this is supposed to be a long wearing concealer, creaseless concealer, that kind of thing. It does have a couple of tips on how to use it. It says to use to conceal blemishes, highlight your under eyes, or contour. So you can use it in multiple ways around the face. So per usual, what I'm going to be doing for today is color correcting my right under eye area using my trusty Becca under eye brightening corrector, but I'm not going to be color correcting the left under eye area. I want to see how the concealer performs with and without a color corrector on my dark circles. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go ahead off camera, add a little bit of this under eye brightening corrector onto the under eye area here. I'm also going to add foundation onto the entire face before coming back and concealing with these guys. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now I am back with color corrector and a foundation on. Now it's time to conceal. Now, like I said, I'm going to mix them. So it comes with a little flat applicator. It reminds me of the Naked Skin concealer, like that applicator that's like flat on each side, as you can see here. So you pick up quite a bit of product on both sides, which is really nice. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to mix them up. There's medium, and then here is golden. Let's put golden in between. I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out. So they're blending out beautifully. I'm getting really good coverage. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So here I'm using medium here. And golden in between. Okay, so for whatever reason, I feel like the non-color corrected side looks a lot brighter and more intense. I don't feel like I added more product than the right side, but now I don't know whether or not I can layer more product on top of a layer, because like I said, the website doesn't really have a whole lot of explanation or description or like how to. So I am tempted to add just a little bit more here, but I'm not sure if I should. You know what? I think I'm gonna skip it. I'm not gonna do it. I feel like I'm getting really good coverage, but I wanted to add a little bit more here because I always have a hard time with this inner corner, both inner corners. I feel like concealer wears off really quickly for me in that area. But I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to add the one layer and call it good. Now it doesn't state whether or not this concealer is creaseless. All it states is that it is matte. So I am definitely going to be setting it with a little bit of my RCMA No Color Powder. Applying that using my damp beauty blender just to make sure that everything stays in place and that hopefully I don't run into much creasing. So I can say that the formula feels pretty lightweight under the eye. It doesn't feel heavy whatsoever. And I'm getting really good coverage. I love how it looks on both sides. I don't know. We'll see how it wears throughout the day though. So now I'm going to zoom you all in so that you can get a better look at the under eye area after initial application. Alright, so as you can see, no creasing, and it is covering quite well. No complaints. Okay, so now I'm just going to jump off camera really quickly, finish off the rest of my face, and I will be right back. Okay, so now I am back with a full face of makeup, and I can honestly say that I think I'm going to enjoy wearing this concealer more so with my color corrector than without. On this side, it's just, it seems like it's setting kind of funky. I don't know. We'll see. But that's why we do these reviews for an entire day. That could change. This can turn into a disaster. Who knows? So it is currently 12:03 p.m. I'm getting a little bit of a late start per usual. It's summer break. Everyone's waking up a little bit later, so therefore everyone's getting a little bit of a later start during the weekends. School starts soon though, so that shall change. I do plan on coming back at around 4 o'clock or so, 4:30, between 4 and 5. So I will see you all back here shortly. Okay, so now I am back for a midday check-in. It is currently 4:04. So I've had this concealer on for a good solid 4 hours. The concealer is wearing great, absolutely great on the right side though. On the left side, like I suspected, it's not doing so hot. It's separating a little bit here. It's giving me quite a bit of lines, and it is creasing a little bit in between the lines. So it just kind of like just looks dry to me. I think that's the issue, is that it's a matte formula. I also set it, and so now it's just like really dry. However, I'm still getting good coverage out of the left side without the color corrector, but I feel like I'm getting better coverage with the color corrector. I feel like the right side is doing a lot better than the left because the color corrector that I use is it's pretty moisturizing because it has a tacky consistency, and so when I apply that underneath, it keeps the under eye area pretty moist, and anything that I put on top of it, it doesn't allow it to get or to look excessively dry. I don't know. That's just been my experience because I know that the Tarte Shape Tape is a dry formula. I mean, it sets super quickly and it doesn't crease at all because it sets so quickly, but it's also, like I said, a little bit dry. So when I combine the Tarte Shape Tape with Becca Corrector, it's just like perfect combination. And I'm finding that this is the same with the ColourPop concealer. I'm finding that the combination is similar to that. But it's only been 4 hours, so we'll see how the rest of the day goes. Before I let you guys be and come back later on in the evening, I'm going to show you all a close-up of my under eye area so that you can see what it looks like after 4 hours of wear. Okay, so this is the under eye area. As you can see, this is what I'm talking about here. It looks a little dry to me, and because it is lacking moisture, it is giving me like additional lines that I don't typically have. Other than that, the concealer is staying quite put, but it did crease a little bit on this side. This side I'm not seeing any issues with. I think it creased a little bit right there, but aside from that, I don't believe that it's creased anywhere else. This side is also still looking pretty great. I feel like it's doing a great job at concealing my dark circles. It's not feeling heavy, and it's not separating, and yeah. So as of right now, I am definitely preferring the color corrected side. So that is all that I have for my midday check-in. I do plan on finishing off my day at around 8 o'clock or so, just to give this concealer a full 8 hours of wear. So I will see you all back here in about 4 hours for my final thoughts on this concealer. Okay, so now I am back for my final check-in. It is currently 8:31 p.m. So I've had this concealer on for a good solid 8.5 hours. Before I get into my overall opinion on this concealer, I'm going to zoom you all in so that you can get a better look underneath the eye area after 8 hours of wear. Okay, so here is the under eye area. As you can see, not bad. Not bad for a $6 concealer. Not bad whatsoever. I see that it did wear off just a tiny bit right there. But other than that, there's no creasing. Absolutely no creasing on this side. As I mentioned earlier, there was a little bit of creasing on this side that did occur. And then, of course, there's the dryness underneath the eye area. But overall, it's not a bad concealer. I mean, it does look like it separated a little bit, and it does look like it wore off a little bit there by the tear duct. But it concealed quite nicely, and it didn't wear off completely. Don't like the way it wore without a color corrector, but I absolutely like the way that it wore with one. So as you can see, the concealer wore beautifully on the right side. The left side, I wasn't a huge fan of, just simply because it does look dry. But other than that, it concealed really well and it wore all throughout the entire day. I don't have a lot of high-end concealers do that, so this $6 concealer really impressed me in that it stayed put the entire day. I really prefer it though with my under eye brightening corrector. I feel like the combination of that particular corrector and the dryness of this concealer like go well together, as weird as that sounds, because the Tarte Shape Tape is that way as well. It's a little bit on the dry side, the formula is, because it does dry matte, just like this one. But when combined with my under eye brightening corrector, I don't feel like it's an issue because the brightening corrector does have like that tacky, creamy consistency. And so it acts as like a protective moisturizing layer underneath, and it doesn't allow anything to look like really super dry underneath the eye area. So that's personally why I prefer my Becca corrector over any other corrector, and why I feel like that pairs really well with my Tarte Shape Tape. And now with this concealer, the $6 concealer. Overall, I feel like this concealer outperformed a lot of other high-end brands that I own. And for $6, it looks really good underneath the eyes. So that is it for this video review. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed this video review and that you found it helpful. As always, take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.